can line out the body, and what I'm going to do here, actually start with her face first. You could also start thinking about the hair at this point. So actually, let me finish lining out. So here I didn't need to do anything with her hand because it just looks like it's going inside the pocket, so I'll leave it at that. And then here it's just coming out a little bit. So with the legs, I'm going to line them out up to the knee, and then I'm going to actually exaggerate the calf a bit more, and I'm also going to exaggerate the thigh a little bit more, just to give her fuller thighs and fuller legs. So you can totally do that. Just use these like sort of guiding bones if you want. So you can see she's got now a lot fuller legs than what she would have had if I would closely imitate the lines. But still, it helped me to get it kind of right. So that's that. And then just to finish up here, that's all the lining work done. Now in terms of the hair, I'm going to create 2 buns like that. I just love these balloon buns. They're very much inspired by Jeff Koons. So that's that, and I'm going to give her funny little fringe as well like that. So I'm going to just carry on with the line work. So that's the hair. Now we can think about the skin tone and all of the good and fun stuff. So today I'm feeling a little bit of the portrait pink as a color guidance for the skin tone, and then I will go over with pencils for shadowing and things like that. Pick a smaller brush for this part of the illustration because we don't have much to work with here. So the opacity of this is actually quite good. Mind you, you could do your own mixes, and I'm going to do that by adding burnt sienna. So that's the skin tone that I'm going for. I'm just going to show you how you can also water it out and the color you get. Okay, so that actually works really well as a color because it's sort of on a peachier caramel side, and it works really well with this denim color. So you really don't need a lot of it. So I'm just going to start as I always do, apply it first away from the light source. I was watching a tutorial, a botanical tutorial last night, and it was so interesting. The lady said that traditionally in botanical art the light source comes from the top left, and I had no idea that there was a specific point, and I never paid attention, so I'm really curious now to look at all of the botanical art and see whether that's what it is. So you can see we have lighter and darker areas, and we're going to do the same on this leg. I prefer to put my light source in my illustrations on the right side. Most of the time that's what I tend to do anyway. And then just use a bit more water. If you can see that the ink has dried up a little, then just go over the dry area and it will start pulling into the wet paint, or the wet paper rather. Wherever you need to pick it up, then just pick it up with the dryish brush. Okay, so here we go. That's that, and then we're going to add this color onto her neck. And here I'm just going to do it quite watery, so I want it to be like more of a watercolor effect on her face. I don't want to fuss about it, and I don't want it to be like, you know, as on the legs or her body, so I want it to be a bit more lighter so that we can play with the makeup. We can then add we could add things like contour or blush. So that would be it. And then whenever you want it darker, just build it up a little bit with what you have here. Like so. For her hair, I have some watercolor here. Or is it not? What is it? Oh no, this was not watercolor. This was acrylic paint. For her hair, I've got some lovely... So this is an ideal blonde hair color, and I think it's the Schmincke light ochre, or yellow. Yes, it's a yellow ochre, I think. So I'm just going to add a bit more. So, I think I want a bit more just over here. Okay. Alright, so it looks like she's a blondie, not something I intended, but there you go. And the next thing would be her sort of makeup, and then once I'm done with makeup, I would then go on to the final stage, which is just shading the skin tones and her kind of facial complexion and things like that. So looking at the magazine, I'm quite inspired by the makeup here. So the lips are nice and nude, and then there's a strong contour there, and I think that would be a lovely color palette. So let's go through some of my nude pencils. So these would be kind of like a good nude selection right here. And this one seems to be the closest one, so let's have a look. Just swatch it. Yes, I think this is a lovely color. Works really well. The others are a bit too grey, although this one might be a nice nude with a bit of pink in there as well. I might use this one actually. So for the lip, I'm going to go for this nude pink. This is the burnt sienna, 10%. It's one of the problematic colors. Actually, the only ones so far have come across to be that problematic. So it kind of scratches a little bit. You don't get that full intensity that I'm used to from these pencils. This one a bit too pink. Although kind of works nice, I might go in with that one. Yeah, so you can see I can get a much more opaque look with it, and I quite like it. So that's the lip color we went for, and I'm going to write down that this is the violet pink. Violet pink. And then I'm going to go into this lovely, actually, this blue would have been a better suit. Yeah, definitely. Indanthrone blue is a color I added recently. And with this outfit, it just works so well. It's gorgeous. Also with her blonde hair, it just kind of pops beautifully. So I'm going to give her some grey eyes now, and it's going to pop really, really pretty. Oh, actually, I could go with the same color and then just pull it out with the white pink. It does some magic, this one. There you go. So, let's see. I can see that the liner, I messed up a little bit when I was lining things out, so if I want to sharpen things, I can do that. I'm going to elongate this one just a little touch as well. And you can see that now they look fairly similar. Okay, so that's done, and then I think this is the color that would be beautiful as a contouring. So I'm going to start the contouring just a little on here on this side. This is the Dark Flesh 40%. Dark Flesh 40%. Okay. So that's a strong contour right here. And I'm also going to use this pencil just to put it a bit in her ears right there. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to move on to the skin shadowing, and I haven't given her any makeup, but I think I will use this pencil here for Mars Orange. That would be beautiful. Kind of. And as you may have noticed, she doesn't have any eyebrows. I mean, that's by choice. I kind of find it an interesting look. If you wanted to add eyebrows for her, then you're more than welcome to do it at this point. I'm just going to scribble a bit of this color quite densely, like so. What a difference it makes, huh? And then use this lighter color to just blend and soften things ever so slightly. This is the light Sienna, so these are the Derwent drawing pencils. I will leave the links in the description in case you're interested. These are fantastic pencils. Very similar to Luminance in the color lay. I think I'm happy with this. I don't think I need to build up anything necessarily. Oh. And then I'll just carry on with the shading. So I'll start with her forehead, like that on both sides. And then I'll use the lighter color to blend it out. And then the darkest color, which is the terracotta, that will go right here as a thin line. And I may or may not want to use the middle color to just go over at the edge. Depends how strong I like the effect to be. Depends also on how much time you have. If you want to really, you know, do a lot of contouring and things like that, whether you really want a lot of detail. I can get carried away with all this. So I'm just going to build it up on her tips of her ears. Alright, and then going to bring a little bit of color on her neck. Now the neck is so tiny here that I'm not going to have much space. I'm just doing tiny little bit. Okay, and now finally her legs. I mean, luckily the rest of the body is covered up, so you don't need to work on that as well. You could do a little bit of darkening on the hair, just the very last touch. I'll show you how you can do that. So again, on the away from the light source, going to add the middle color first. So middle being Mars Orange, light Sienna is the lightest one, and then the darkest again terracotta. So just remember that trio. If I say middle color, light color and dark, then you will know. I'll do the same just on the bottom tie, and this time very light, very thin line, because I don't want it to look like I didn't put any work into that part of the leg. So it does make a slight difference. Again, middle color. Going to blend it out slightly. Light color on top. And the dark color just on the No, that's not the dark. This one is the dark color right on that line, and then again just blending it out a little touch like that. And same thing here, just like that. And that's it. There, she's ready. I think she's got a lot of sass about her. And here we go. I think she looks pretty cool. Alright, so for the hair, I'm going to think about a pencil. I've got a lovely yellow pencil, whether that would work or not. No, I need darker color. Well, in fact, I could use one of these. I haven't swatched them out here. I'm just going to do that. So, the middle color, Mars Orange. That would be a better one. That's just going to add a bit on the dimension. I find that it makes a big difference. So, just like that. And she's ready. So, that's the girl, and hopefully you had loads of fun creating her, you know, her different poses and different facial expressions. There's so much you can do with them, and you know, bring it all together, and it's such a great creative outlet. So I'll see how things go. Do let me know in the comments if you would fancy something like a fashion diary type of thing, where we could do similar things, just looking through fashion magazines and finding outfits that I find inspired. Also work with color palettes and bring it all together like this, whether that's something you would love to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.